Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we're going to talk Conquest Last Argument of Kings version 2.0. So, the 2.0 updates have gone live for Conquest. We'll have the armies out tonight or tomorrow, I believe. Soon, the armies will be out and we'll go through and we'll make a ton of stuff going over all the armies and everything like that. But this is going to be the big interesting bit. 2.0, we're going to go through their little article that Parabellum have posted talking about what they've updated for the armies and for the game. And so, just system-wide, I guess, an overview to begin with. And I guess to talk a little bit about why a 2.0 is needed, maybe this early into a game's lifestyle. I think 2.0 editions always should be the quickest edition to come out for any game. For me personally, I think 2.0 allows a game to update, maybe catch all those things that have been missed, change all the things that they want to change for the future of the game, as they've seen things grow, as they've seen things happen. 2.0 is really where I think most games come into their own sort of state. And I think Conquest will definitely do that with 2.0. But system-wide, this is sort of what they've aimed to do. Streamline language. It's now used across all rules for ease of reference. Good. We've obviously seen things like Warhammer try to initiate this sort of stuff. Special rule spells, item effects now use standard templates. Cool. A minor points readjustment has been made, which you expect. Previously common used undefined terms now have properly introduced into the text and codified into the system for ease of reference. This is cool. So just making, these words mean these words. And a system-wide revisit of wording, examples, diagrams, and explanations, just tidying everything up, which is all really good. I think this is, a nice thing that they're trying to do. Now, probably, I think the biggest change here, for me, is infantry stands. This is huge for the change. Infantry stands will now operate much like their brute and cavalry monster counterparts in that their characteristics are no longer calculated on a per model, but on a per stand basis. This allows an incredible amount of design space to open up, as the characteristics like attack and wounds no longer have to be adjusted in increments of 4, and we're now capable of having a stand with 5 attacks or 6 wounds rather than the usual 4 or 8, to give a difference in toughness. This is really cool, especially if you aren't planning on playing something like First Blood. This gives the idea to multi-basing, which I think, really opens up the game in a lot of ways, especially in the looks of your army. Multi-basing could be really, really cool as a thematic looking thing. But also, this allows us to design regiments to make them feel close to the law. 4 men-at-arms, for example, do not withstand as much punishment as 4 Wadrun-blooded. This is what this can do. You can go, cool, we don't want to make them all 2 wounds, but we want them to be slightly tougher, so you can go to 6 wounds rather than 8, which I think opens a lot more up for balancing and all that. It can be really, really solid. Stands are no longer restored with a single wound. You must be able to heal at least half of a regiment's wounds, rounding up with a single healing effect before they're capable of restoring a stand. Cool. This works on infantry as well as brutes and cavalry, so change there. Rules like Fury as well now simply give +1 attack until the end of the round. Cool, no getting rerolls, but just +1 attack. Like it, and then further helps balance infantry as compared to everything else. This just opens up, a lot of infantry stand bases and will definitely, I think, improve them throughout the course of the game. Impact attacks. So this has been something that's changed. Impact attacks have now no longer based on half your attacks rounding up. A unit will simply have the Impact X rule, which is really cool. This just means, it'll have Impact X 5. It does 5 impact hits. Throwing weapons, unstoppable charge, etc. are no longer needed because of this. They'll have the Impact Hits X rule on those weapons. Like this, the Fallen Divinity no longer needs throwing weapons to inflict impact. It simply has the Impact X. Support and impact interactions are much more clear now. And rules like Speed of Horse are much simpler to understand and communicate now. So, a nice cleanup of impact hits. I think this is the way to go. I look at, say, Warhammer has used impact hits in fantasy for a long, long time. And this is just the way to do it. Volley. So, shooting Barrage X is now calculated on a per stand basis. This obviously makes sense as we've moved infantry, which generally have the most volley in the game, over to a thing. So you're no longer halving your shots when firing over half range. Instead, you gain barrage +1 if you're within effective range. Which is half range. If you're within half, you get barrage +1. So a regiment with barrage 3, 20 inch will fire 4 shots if volleying within 10 inch. Cool. No more obscuration due to range. Barrage X values yield slightly less shots in total to account for no obscuration. And then complete restructure of how line of sight is explained. The end result is the same, only much cleaner and easier to understand. So this sounds like they're trying to up shooting, which I definitely has felt maybe a little bit lesser in Conquest than some other rank and flank games. You definitely don't want it to get to levels that maybe other rank and flank games have had throughout their periods of time, but I can see the need to want to clean up. And like that's just a simple thing of what they've done throughout all these changes here is just simplifying things. Command models, command upgrades now renamed to officers for consistency. Each regiment now has a dedicated command stand where the leader, standard bearer, and all officers go. It now explains proper placement is clearly defined within the rules. Rules like Glory Seekers are much easier to understand. Expands our design space for new and unique officer abilities. This is cool. This is definitely a good change, like seeing and making sure your officers work how they're intended to work in the game. Really, really strong change. Magic, each spell now requires 2 successes to cast. Scaling levels can readjust the spellcasters no longer purchase spells. Instead, they know every spell available to them, only the exception of those character stands with the access to schools that must pick one at no additional cost. This is a cool change. This is something that I think we've seen in games like Age of Sigmar, where you do just know a bunch of spells on your war scroll, but you can purchase extra ones. This seems sort of a mix between Age of Sigmar and Kings of War and sort of how they're doing it. Readjusting spell achievement levels, and spells now last till the end of the battle round unless mentioned otherwise. This is cool. And then special rules and draw events. Faction-specific rules are now moved to their respective armor lists. Certain rules are removed and are no longer needed given the system's new mechanic, e.g. fury and throwing weapons, and certain rules are removed and will return as faction-specific ones in the future. This all to go along with a brand new 2-player starter set. And as you can see here, you can follow and go get all the rules for free. I'll leave a link in the video's description for all of that. We'll also have our affiliate code, which you can get 10% off anything on the Parabellum website, which will help support the channel and get us making more Conquest content for the rest of the year as well. But I'm really excited to see what we're going to see with Conquest. I can't wait to get City States and get my Nords. We'll have the new box set up and showing on the channel soon, I hope. But what are your thoughts on the changes to Conquest? Are you going to get into Conquest with these brand new armies? I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. And so that is the end of the video. We hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But also, if you'd like to, drop a comment down below letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community, here we have a Discord server for Sinful Gaming where we chat all things wargaming and indeed just chat a bunch of good friends all chatting there. It's really lovely. There's a link to that in the video's description. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel, the best ways to do that are linked in the video's description as well. We have our Patreon, YouTube members on there, which are great ways to help support the channel. But also, if you'd like to grab yourself some channel merch, we have Teespring and Ko-fi, both linked there as well. As a special thank you to our Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out for helping support the channel. So thank you to our Patreons: Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lowe, Alder and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Thee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Bloobs, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Nuffs, and Nicholas Colomos. And to our YouTube members: Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lochloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weir, James South, and James Tillman. Thank you all for supporting the channel. It means the absolute world and allows us to keep doing what we're doing. A special thanks as well to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork to the channel, and indeed to everyone who helps come and film battle reports or helps run the Discord server. You're all amazing. Thank you all so much. Stay safe, everyone. Stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.